order, 6:01. Roll call. Sage Alexander. Here. Pamela Batchelor.
Wow.
Teresa Baxter. Iris Hammond is excused. Susan Horowitz. Susan Smith. Susan, and I'm sorry, is it Jaggers?
Yep.
With the J. Susan Jaggers.
Yes.
Danielle Kevany is excused. Eve Lacy. Jennifer Miller. Melanie Nesky.
Here.
Oh. Hello. Hi. Michelle Jones. Nettie Penman is excused. Jenny Ravelino. Is that right?
Yes, that's it.
Cindy Tiger. Scott Tillian.
Right.
Nice.
Got it.
Angela Lara. Susie Donald Currings. Okay, public invited to be heard. Nobody does anything.
None.
Corrections to the July 18th minutes. Does anybody have any corrections to last month's?
I didn't see any, but what can I say?
You were there. Yeah.
I read it.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the minutes as written.
I motion to approve the minutes as written for July.
Second. Eve. All in favor? Aye. 1, 2, 3, 12 ayes. Nays? None. Abstentions? None. And so those are approved. Additions and corrections to the August 15th agenda.
I have nothing.
Okay. This is a good take. We should be out of here by 10 after.
Don't be that way. No. We're going to be thorough.
Council comments, Susie?
So, we're in budget season. Talking money, talking actually the lack of money. And we have some, during the state session, Governor Polis had made some adjustments to property tax to alleviate. However, municipalities statewide are really feeling the crunch. So it looks like we're only going to be able to cover salary and the basics. So any kind of, I think, it's under that level 1, level 2. So the level 1 is just the core basic needs. Level 2 is anything that enhances the program or the would like to really support what community is desiring.
He called a special session. He's calling that to get property taxes.
Yeah, and so it's hurting. It's really impacting municipalities, especially since City of Longmont, has really prioritized paying our employees that market rate.
Right.
So it's a matter of keeping quality people, recruiting quality people, and keeping them in. And so we really value paying our employees well. And so with that, we still have commitments to pay. We have public safety, that is a collective bargaining unit. Fire is also a collective bargaining unit. So there was a lot of work with them in negotiations to ensure that they still are maintaining what the city has promised over the years. So that, so we're kind of trying to figure out that it's actually Harold, we're not, we're just over it. And then the other thing, we've been hearing a lot from residents about prairie dogs over at Dry Creek. And they're not being exterminated. They're trying to round up as many as they can. They have a 2-week window to round them up and send them off to Pueblo at a prairie dog farm. The reason why it's happening now is because there was a space that opened up in Pueblo. So Pueblo had contacted and say, hey, if you still want this, do it now. So that's why there's that activity happening. And so, I mean, I can't even keep up with my email anymore because it is just like hundreds of emails about the prairie dogs. I'm sure we're not killing them. Are we killing them? I'm like, I have to double check because
We should make t-shirts.
So if you hear from people, just let them know that that's why that's happening. And I think, does anyone have any questions or did anything kind of pop up and you have questions for me about that?
I'm glad to see them go.
Okay, yeah. I've fallen on some hills.
I mean, they're dangerous and they have diseases.
Yes.
And if they were ugly, nobody would care, but they're cute.
They are too. If it's all for rats.
Yes, yes.
You really do feel confident that they're not all being killed or gassed or whatever?
So this is where, I think this is where the hitch is. They're trying to collect as many as they can within this 2-week period.
Right.
After that, I believe they are exterminated.
Yeah, that's
And
what
that's what, so we're trying to, a couple of us on council are interacting with David Bell and trying to find out how much I think it's like 13,000,
Oh,
working on the number a day to extend the recruitment of prairie dogs. So it's a huge amount of money that if we extend beyond this 2-week period, it will cost the city thousands of dollars a day to extend and collect more prairie dogs and save them.
Well, thank goodness they're not endangered.
Yes, if they were endangered, this would not be, we would not be.
No, we would not be having this.
But that, I think that was something that came big that I thought, well, maybe I should share with the group so they can all let other people know and that. And so I think, unless you have any other questions for me, we can kind of move on.
What is happening with attainable and affordable housing? Is there any news on that?
So we do have house pad, which is going to be built over by Costco. And that is to address that middle class housing, affordable and attainable housing. So folks who make too much for, Longmont Housing Authority, long-term housing, but cannot afford market rate, will qualify for this. The price range is to meet their needs. And they are giving preference to folks who work in Longmont, not necessarily city employees, but anyone who works in Longmont.
Are they
work out?
What's that? Are you selling them?
There'll be sale. There'll be some units that will be rentals. But the majority of the housing is designed for sale housing.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many units?
Single family, I think it was 85. Yeah. I do not. I know that, I think they're trying to break ground this fall, and then, a year later.
If you would like me to, I can keep my finger on the pulse of it
Yeah,
and then
yes.
send that information.
Oh, yeah.
Along.
That would be good.
So, okay.
And
Yeah,
I
and-
can connect with Harold, he has all the,
Thank you.
yes.
And believe it or not, one of the LHA, so the Longmont Housing Authority, actually the associate director now of LHA was who our partner was when we worked on the mural on the garage of the Boulder County Housing Authority. She was on Boulder County, So she was on Boulder County Housing Authority and now is working for LHA. So we already have that connection.
Great.
So I can just plug straight into her.
Oh, that's good, yeah. No, this isn't through the housing authority though.
Okay, but she'll
She'll know. And so that's, depending on how HousePad moves along, we have been in conversations with the district as well, they've been looking at that land, that there might be an opportunity for land that the district is not planning on building on, that we can work some kind of intergovernmental agreement to follow like the HousePad model for middle class housing, where it gives preference to school district employees, classified, certified, as well as employees, anybody who works in Longmont. So it seems like there's a lot of promise there. Very excited.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Number 7, shock art. Is that you?
It is me. So we had the shock art artists from this year, the winners, come in and do training with us last week. And they are all signed their contracts. Are we primed yet? Everything?
Primed and paid and bugged.
Okay, so yeah, at this point now, the new artists should begin their murals. Which honestly, if you could send an email to them saying that they're primed,
Yep.
that'd be awesome. We have some really awesome artists this year. We have 1 returning artist, and then the other 6 are new to the collection, which is awesome.
It's always fun to see.
Yeah.
Have a surprise on a corner.
And then 6 out of 7 are Longmont residents. So we have a lot of like local art. So yeah, super excited to see how they do this year. Just really awesome.
And they were very agreeable. Laura made a questionnaire just for some social media fodder and for some of the marketing things, and it seems like every single one of them was agreeable to us contacting them and getting photos and video for when they are working, so just upping our game on that front. Wow. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Are the boxes spread throughout town?
Yes.
They're kind of mostly north at this point, but there are also some kind of east, not too many southwest because we had a lot last year in southwest. But yeah, it's kind of Hover-ish, and then some near Hover around like 22nd, Mountain View. There's one that Case, and
We have them now.
yeah, there's
Not a lot in the southeast because there aren't a lot of boxes in the southeast.
Yeah. That's kind of it's the blessing and the curse, right? Is the majority of them end up on major roads because the boxes themselves are called pad mount switches, and they are in control of very large city, a lot of neighborhood, right? So when one of them goes, the entire neighborhood goes, and that's actually why we can paint them, is because LPC, when one of those flips the switch, let's say, there's a massive power outage, and the guys with LPC, the people with LPC know exactly where they're going to fix it. So they're not looking for a green box. They already know where they're going, so it doesn't matter if it's painted or not. It's a question that we get actually quite a bit, is why don't we address more of the residential boxes, the ones that are in like people's yards?
Yeah.
And the reason is because especially at night, if a residential box goes and it's just a couple of residents that are out, the LPC folks know exactly what they're looking for, and they're looking for a green box. If it's painted or looks like something else, they'll miss it, because there's thousands and thousands of those. These pad mount switches, there's only so many because of because of what they do in proximity. So I think we did a pretty good job of.
the black ones are the new boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you wanted to
So
see,
there
if you guys want this too, I have it shared. So this is all of the boxes throughout Longmont too. So
Oh, goodness, that's wonderful.
yeah, it's definitely it's a lot.
It's a lot.
We're gonna have over 80 boxes in the collection once we're done with this season.
Wow.
So it's incredible how many murals we have.
My sister, I gave her a shop art tour. I
Oh,
said,
really?
I'm gonna drive you around and show you our boxes on the
Yeah.
streets. She was pretty impressed, actually. She thought it was fun. And I said, do you like that one? Do you like this one? Yeah, so.
I like that they're very diverse.
Oh,
They're very diverse. You know, we have lots of different stuff.
Yes.
It's not all rainbows or all.
You know,
And we're one of the last programs to actually have artists painting boxes rather than switching to a vinyl method. And the positive aspect of that is that you have artists who are very well established and understand scaling, but you also have a number of artists that are early in their portfolio and are actually learning how to do that scale model and then upscale. And it's a learning curve for them, as well as working out of doors and the different materials they're working with. So by us investing more in our artists, especially locally, it's a benefit for their work portfolio and in fact, like their skill set. So a lot of communities have totally strayed and are accepting digital renderings, just transferring them into vinyl. And while that's all fine and good, and of course we're doing it with images from photography, we're special in that way.
I'm curious to know if we have any idea how many of these large boxes are left.
There's a lot.
So we're like just chipping away at the mountain.
If you want to see, so we were sent a list of all the potential boxes we could have. These are the ones that we didn't choose, the yellow.
Those are just the ones that are going rusty and we need to address soon. But that's not even.
That's not even all of them.
Right.
But yeah, those are the ones like that of the ones that were part of, these were all on the list. The black ones were the ones chosen because of just the location and also the severity of the rust and or graffiti that's on the box. Yeah, cool.
But they do tend to be like, if you're on Hover and you're driving, you will see them over and over and over again because that thoroughfare just treats so much east-west. They are fairly concentrated, I guess, on major roads. So.
Yeah, so.
Any other questions?
And next year, you all can sign up, be on the shop our committee, and choose which boxes we use, and which winners are gonna go where.
Yes.
It's great. Okay, next, Fox Meadows Park.
See if I can switch.
Yeah.
Can we?
Yeah.
Let's see. Press the button. It's me. Oh, accept. So Fox Meadows Park. The reason I can show you this today is because I received the contract today. Huzzah! It is signed by the artist. I have already talked to legal and I've already talked to risk management, and I have their verbal, so that's good enough for me for this. So this is the artwork that will be installed in Fox Meadows Park. It is nearly 15 feet tall. The plinth portion of it, the footer, let's say, is going to be sub-grade. So you, in fact, will see this, let's call it stone. It's not a stone. The stone will be above grade, and then the elk will be, the bugling elk will be on top. Now the bugling elk is made from upcycled materials. So these ones that are on a roundabout in Grand Junction, similar work. These are fenders and all upcycled, recycled materials. So our elk will be something similar. So you can see corrugated steel, different kinds of metal. So the patina, if you will, is going to be different colors of metal. It will likely be most of this like rusty brown, but there will likely be some variation of color. And then it has a substructure of tubular steel, which is fantastic. And the stone, if you will be tall enough that little humans, while they want to scale it, will have a very, very, very difficult time doing it. So we're in good shape that way. This is one of the examples of something that the artist Pavia Justinian out of Fruita, Colorado has done previously. And this is her, let's call it sandstone. The stone itself, it is a tubular steel structure, and she uses a different treatment of insulation foam, some strengthening epoxy, and then she uses cement color to come up with the look and feel. So here's the process image of her carving her stone, and then she has created this. I don't want to call it decoupage, but it's almost like a paper mache-ish with epoxy and cotton towels. I think it's something that she has developed very much herself. So I would say, when you look at this stone, this is obviously before the cement and the stain, it's going to look more like this than it will this image of a granite rock that's from the internet. Right? So the striations of color, it probably won't be that variable. The different variations of texture, it will likely be a little bit more flat than have some of these ridges, but I think it's still very much going to read stone, and it will weigh what it would if that was an actual grain of stone. So there's that. This was an example of obviously a rendering of Pavia just popping it into an image that I had taken of the space. It won't be located here because we don't have to get an easement agreement with power, so that's not going to happen. I can tell you that right now. But just to give you an idea of scale, if this is 15 feet and this is 7, a human height is about there. So it's fairly grand, and it certainly will be a unique identifier for the park. I would say that the community and the residents were very excited. It was not a unanimous decision, but that is always a good conversation too. And at the end of the day, I think that everyone who was on the selection panel felt very confident and comfortable with the decision that was made. So this is some ideas of how, in fact, the concrete footer is underground, and that's the hardware that's going to hold it all together. So with that, does anybody have any questions about this Fox Meadows?
When will it be going?
Good question. So they are grading right now. The park, as I understand, is supposed to be completed in the spring. The artist, since she has her contract with me now, it'll go to the mayor, and once I get a fully executed contract, she'll get her first payment. At that time, I imagine she'll have the funds to purchase materials and start fabricating. An artist may start fabricating early on, but it's their choice. So I would imagine that she said that it was about a nine-month turnaround. So we'll likely pour the footer at a similar time as the concrete that's going in with the park, which is fantastic because that's a triple bottom line, really trying to take advantage of time and space and materials when they're already on the ground. It also helps with our carbon footprint because concrete is in fact quite a heavy carbon footprint, so we'll try and take advantage of that. But I think it would be 9 months. So if she gets working now, late spring.
I like it.
Yeah,
It's different.
it's very different.
Really anything we have.
Yeah, it is very different.
This presentation was the best one I've ever seen. Any artist.
Yeah, she was
Super.
She really had it
And
together.
it was, we all really, really liked her. The other proposals were interesting too, they were. But this one, I think we all felt really confident about working with her. It was very thoughtful, very well presented, with a lot of information. Her budget was very excellent and detailed. She answered every question very straightforward. It was great.
I would have felt, luckily, the selection panel did an excellent job. I called references and I would have felt comfortable working with any of the 3 of them. So we really, of all of our recent projects, I would say this was the most successful with narrowing down to 3 very applicable, appropriate projects, especially for the budget and the site. Yeah, very exciting. So, yes, so I can say that our friends in parks have already received some of the residents not being super happy. They're really excited for their park, and they don't like how dusty it is when you start constructing a park. So, but other than that, like the feedback has been fantastic. So that's good. Yeah. Any other questions about Fox Meadows? Great. Where are we at? Oh, sorry.
Nature's Way.
Nature's Way. So we did run into a little bit of a snafu on contract, and they're still going back and forth. But I got a note from procurement today saying if we can get the certificate of insurance wherein the conservator is taking responsibility for liability of workman's comp and those kinds of things, we're going to be good, which is just in time because if we go too much further into the fall, we are going to run out of the weather being conducive to doing maintenance. it's what it is, and the conservation company has been aces about it. It's just one of those things, and taking responsibility, frankly, for something that they know the work that they can do, the work that they have promised to do. But if the substructure of those sculpture is different than what they expect it to be, they don't want to be held liable for its damage. And so the city and, I'm sorry, we have to be on the same page of at what point do they stop work and say, this cannot be fixed, and then how much will that cost us? So it's been a progressive and positive conversation, but I think they're protecting their interests, and so are we.
You don't think there'll be a problem with getting a signed contract?
We have a signed contract. We don't have a fully executed contract. It's the terms. I won't be surprised if we start work and not very much after we start work, we stop work.
Oh.
If that structure starts falling apart, they're not going to try and fix it.
Yeah.
And frankly, I mean, from a professional point of view, that's a good thing, because it's not worth the money then to try and fix something that maybe can't be fixed. So
we have two items that the conservator is working with. If the trees are not fixable, they will move on to the fish.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Does everybody know which objects we're talking about? In Southmore Park, just across the way. So if you take Quail and you go west, it turns into Missouri, and if you keep kind of going down, there are two pillars that have whirligigs on top. The whirligigs are kind of a reddish color, and they aren't kinetic, so they move. And the pillars are salmon color. What do you call that color? Salmon color.
Well, sort of.
Ugh, Band-Aid. Band-Aid color. And so those pillars are of some sort of, there they are. And so underneath that is a steel structure, but the substrate that is on the top, not only is it cracking, and we don't know what the substructure on a structural standpoint looks like, but then to add insult to injury, right when we had agreed upon the price to conserve these, they got tagged, which was awesome. So now we have that layer of work to do, but the goal is to seal it's not stucco, but it looks like stucco, so that it is not crumbling and falling apart, and then potentially making sure that the coloring is similar, so you can't tell where those
These
changes
are
have been made.
20 years?
Yeah.
20 years.
2000, yeah, I pulled it from the website. It's only it's not like the fish.
Yeah, you can see.
So the fish is the second portion. So the entire artwork, if you will, is 5 pieces, but each piece has different components. So there's the benches, which is 3, but it's called 1. This is the fish fountain. It's called 1, right? Fish fountain, but it's 3 pieces, right? So this, fixing the mosaic, believe it or not, the fountain works, and people who are walking along there actually use said fountain. So it's worth it for us to fix it. But the mosaic, they'll fix the mosaic. They'll again treat the surface treatment and get it back to looking as good as it can without completely falling apart. The other benches are in really good shape, and we would be able to do any sort of removal and powder coating fairly much in-house. And then there's the I Spy thing.
That thing right there.
And so when the it does not look like that. So when the flood happened in 2013, I believe that it was submerged completely, and there is, what did they call it exactly? There's biomaterial growing inside of it. To Angela, I think that means black mold. and there are houses that abut that, and that's a thing to look through. So when the task force looked at these, we had the conservation bids look at to treat all of the different problems, and this one is astronomical, number one, and number two, is it responsible to put site things next to residents? So it is still in place, and yet again, another thing that I feel confident that we in-house with our tools could go and remove and investigate further, but we had the original bids break out each of the pieces as like an a la carte menu. So the benches, those benches are in good shape. That's 2 pieces, the whirligig doodles. So we're treating the 2 whirligiggies and then the fountain. And the cost is just not to exceed $16,800 or something along those lines. And those dollars are encumbered and in this year's budget, so.
Okay.
Good questions. So I'll let you know, hopefully the next time I'll come back and say, it's gone.
Or if it's gone.
So just one more point. If we do get to if I do have to come back to you, chances are we will likely have to investigate deaccessioning, because if it's falling apart on the substrate, we might be in a point where it's structurally unsound, and then it's not responsible to have out in the community room. So, not to dead me down for that talk, but there it is.
Okay. Now on to our main topic today, maintenance.
Okay, so I sent all of you an email with signups. New commissioners don't have any signups, so you guys got kind of a blanket email from me. Basically, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go through the list. There are several that absolutely need assignments, and then some that have a first commissioner, some that also have a second commissioner. But we ideally would like to have 2 commissioners on each artwork. If you happen to be out in the world and you see an artwork that's not on your list, but there you see something, go ahead and just do a maintenance report if you would like. The more eyes, the better. The more that we can keep track of all the different changes that happen with the artworks. So yeah, if you have the time and you have the energy, like, do it. Love you guys for that.
And also, we ask that folks sign up for 5 to 7, and the reason is because then that encapsulates the entire collection, and you're volunteers, and we recognize that you have other things going on. Please do not feel guilty if you are not able to get to, when we say, hey, can you visit monthly? Can you visit seasonally? And you haven't, please do not feel guilty about that. Just what you can do. This is not intended in any way, shape, or form to make you feel bad, right? But that's why we try also to have 2, is because if one person can't, usually somebody else can. And it's never a bad thing to, like Laura said, to have more than one eyes, pair of eyes, set of eyes on pieces. So.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I go downtown pretty often, especially because we do different types of business. And so I'll just kind of try and hit all the different places downtown while I'm there. And actually recently I found that there's a tree stump sculpture that's next to Los Arcos. There's some nails coming out. And so I was able to be like, oh, this needs, some attention. And again, like, I didn't even really plan for it. I was like, I have 10, 15 minutes to kill, I'm gonna walk around. So it's just always really good to not only familiarize yourself with the collection, but also just like be out there and make sure that everything is what it is. I guess Los Arcos just got tagged recently too.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So graffiti is like pretty bad. That's another thing too, is if you see graffiti, email us right away.
Right away. And thank you.
Yes.
For
everybody who has
Unity. Unity got hit.
Many emails just on here.
Unity got hit pretty badly. There's still some. So I called Parks Superintendent right away and was like, please, please, please address this as soon as possible, because of course it was over the weekend, and they did a good job, but there's still spray paint in the grout. So I let the artist know, and he and I are gonna meet out there and see what we can do, but that's really bad, because Unity is one of those that the Kensington community, I think up until this point, it's a valuable asset, and I think that they all were either children or their parents were around when there's been some pretty serious heavy stuff in that community, and yet I think that there's an aspect of our youth that maybe they don't know these things, or they don't have relatives who are from that community, so yeah, we got some work to do.
Speaking to that, where are we at with the QR codes to have on something like that, so that perhaps that's that educational piece for the youth in the community?
We're in good shape. So Laura and I have used AI to do some of our translations, and we really can't do that. We have to have them go through our communications department and have them, and it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. So it's in the queue of them looking over our content, and the contractor's on board. I've bid it all out. Manufacturing time is ready to go. As soon as we have the blessing from communications, we're good to go. And the communications department is launching a new website this week.
Yeah.
So we're not their priority right now, but
That might help, because
It's-
they've all
yeah.
got the smartphones, so they
Yeah.
that might help.
and then of course working with Queen and our friends who are in community and neighborhood services, and just having a really good relationship with them is so important. Yeah. So maintenance, the point.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
important.
It is really important. And also it's just like really lovely being able to discover all the different artworks around town. It's like one of my favorite things. I'm like, I want to go visit this artwork that like I haven't seen. It's like, oh, look at that. It's like art. Okay, so I'm gonna go through, and I basically already have the previous people who signed up, and I'm just gonna confirm, like, Teresa, do you still wanna do it?
I want to state
Yes.
where I'm at.
Okay, would anybody else like to sign up as a secondary?
I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay. Eve, are you still good with the airplane?
Yeah.
Okay. Danielle is not here, but she's gonna do
One
what she's
second.
got.
Do you want to, if somebody wants to volunteer for commissioner number 2, do you want us to do?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to do number 2 for 101 days.
Great.
Oh, sure.
Which you and I should talk about that. 101 faces is not 101.
But if you keep finding new ones.
But if we find new
How
ones,
many are left?
who knows? That is what you'll be looking for.
Okay.
I think there are 9 or 10.
I think that's about right. There's one right over
Either
there.
9 or 10. Yeah, there's one there.
Yeah, but we'll talk offline about 101 faces, yeah. And Airplay is over at the rec center. Does anybody ever go over to the rec center?
Yeah, I'm still doing that.
Okay, great.
Jake, you wanna sign up for it? All right. Along the river.
Can you turn the lights down?
Yes,
Yeah.
and Rogers Grove.
Anybody ever go over to Rogers Grove?
I want to, because I hear that in the fall you can pick apples.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll take
You versus squirrels.
Okay, fair.
Alphabet Farm, Little Farm Park. Anybody else want to add on to it?
Pamela's on it.
Pamela's on
Kids
it.
or grandkids.
Okay.
That one's in bad shape, so we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bike Path, which is Roosevelt. I have Cindy and Jennifer on it.
Still good with that, Jennifer?
Oh,
Bubble bath,
yeah, the
bike bath.
yeah, the bike path, yeah.
Bike to Your Roots, which is the sculpture I was talking about with the nails earlier.
Downtown on the Breezeway.
Susan,
Oh,
Michelle, okay, great.
I had it on my first time.
Nice.
And you wanna add Scott too? Scott, you on that?
Yeah, I could just put the word on there.
Great.
Okay,
Can I just
yeah,
have a little aside here?
yeah.
One year, I selected like 12 or 13 different things all over town that I liked. Oh my God, it was impossible. I hardly looked at any of them. it's a good idea to sort of think about where these things are. If you're gonna do, like I'm doing Roosevelt Park, I'm doing everything around Roosevelt Park. If you wanna do Rogers Grove, then do everything in Rogers Grove, make a nice walk. You only have to park once, you can go everywhere. You know, if you go to the Humane Society a lot, do the Humane Society one. You know, it's just, with a little bit of thought, you can do all of your maintenance in one day. That's all.
Okay, great. Also, I printed you guys out a piece of paper with name, QR code, and then a list for you to follow along with. I think it's more work for the new commissioners, but yeah. All right, Bouquet, which is in the Clark Centennial Park. It's like Ashley and Mountain View.
We have the youth center.
Yes.
Yes.
Jennifer and Teresa. Okay. Brick sculpture, Nettie and Susan Horowitz. The Butterfly Pavilion, which is on Agaposh Lake, Sage and Pamela.
Good.
And then Dance Steps, Jennifer, and anybody secondary who near the youth
That's at the
center?
youth center.
In Centennial Park.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very nice.
No, okay.
Okay.
Dawson, Silverwood, Sage, Pamela, and then I'm gonna add Eve. She also has been checking.
I can do dance steps.
Okay, Melanie on dance steps, awesome. That piece was, had conservation treatment in 2019, so it should be in relatively good shape, but it's a lot of tile like this, so if there's damage, you'll see it pretty
Are
good.
there like arches and a mural?
Yeah, you go through the arches and it's there.
Yep.
It's on the side.
It's on the side of the building, yeah, that's it.
Okay, the Under the Sea Moon mural that's in the breezeway, I have Susan Horowitz on that. Anybody else? It's downtown. Scott. All right, and then Defiance, which is the eagle, and that's Eve. Anybody else go near that trailhead? It's on.
Is it closed right now, though?
It's kind of one.
It's County Line Road.
No, that's not closed, it's, okay,
No.
yep, I was
Okay.
just thinking about spring.
It's right off the way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
right up on 19 on Customary.
And then this one we need somebody to sign up for, so this is Details of Nature. It's in Rogers Grove. It's kind of along the river.
It's between Isaac Blunt and,
Yes.
I thought we were taking, those were being moved.
Yeah, I think that's why no one has signed up for it, is, so basically, when they do the next, well, it's not funded, and who knows when it will be, but, they'll have to let the river go back to where the river's gonna go, and so it'll be from, where are we now? Boston to Sunset? Yes, that's the reach, and when that happens, those may have to move, but the listings don't absolutely will. But seeing what condition that they're in, Susan Jaggers, thank you.
I can second.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
I went for a walk recently from Isaac Walton all the way down to the Golden Ponds.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good walk, it takes in everything.
Yeah.
I would sign up for that, but oh my God, I'll never do it.
All right, fair.
Okay. Early Longmont, Nettie and Jennifer are signed up for that, and anybody else? Early Longmont is the archway at the library.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
You want
Michelle,
Sarah to
Michelle on it.
No, it's not.
Early Longmont's on the ground.
It's the one.
Oh,
that-
it's the map. It's the map.
The bronze,
The
yeah.
map.
The bronze man? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're obviously going to the library every day, so we'll just save that one for you for later.
Oh, yeah,
If there's any, yeah, I was gonna say library located ones that aren't covered, I'm trying to kind of, I have a couple preferred, but like then I can fill in anything.
Perfect. And then Echo at Kanemoto Park, which is like a dragonfly bike thing. I have Teresa and Melanie.
This one's kind of far from me. If
Yeah.
wants to do this one.
Okay.
But you get to see the Tower of Compassion, which is
Right.
Oh, yeah. You want to do that? Yeah.
Was that on the docket yesterday, Susie, the Tower of Compassion?
Yes, it was.
Did they pass it?
We passed it, yeah.
Yay!
The one that wasn't pulled, you know, so
It was a
passed it as
consent agenda.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows, the Tower of Compassion, as of yesterday, is now on the historic preservation list.
Yeah.
So it had been a big question, like, is it public art? What is it? So historic preservation is where I think it should be. So that's excellent. That's excellent. Great. Yeah.
I'll do emerge.
Great. Emerges on the extremely short list of maintenance. Okay.
And then I have emerging hand, Teresa, so good. Anybody go to Sandstone Ranch at all? There's like a baseball thing.
Yeah, the team basketball game.
Soccer.
Yeah. Scott, you're good with that? Awesome. It's the hand, it's a bike, it's technically
It's
a
like
bike rack, but it's
fingers coming out.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's real, yeah.
Yeah,
supposed to be bike rack.
I have Feather Flight that Eve's been checking on. It's actually here in between the the museum and the rec center. Anybody else? Okay. Jenny. Okay. Great. Thank you, Jenny. First Teacher, which is near the library, and it's the two girls reading the book.
Yep.
Michelle.
Someone puts flower vases there.
Yes, they do.
I've removed them a
Okay.
lot of times.
Cool.
Yeah, I leave them. I'm like,
I know, I'm
they
just-
have commitment, like,
I'm good with it too. I like it too.
They just kind of it looked sad. It looked sad.
Well, sometimes, yeah, if they're dead, they go away. But if they're new, yeah, keep them.
Florida Lano, I have Jennifer and Teresa on that. That's the big V. All right.
Which looks fabulous now they've cleaned it up.
I know,
It looks
it's really good.
fab.
And the solar lights working.
and they're working.
I know,
Was
they put
because
that,
they
put
yes,
that
chop it
yes,
down.
Right.
They put that hay down or whatever.
Oh, yes, it's
Great.
gorgeous.
I sent the Parks Department a tip of the cap.
I agree. Tell them thank you. Took a long
I will
time.
again, I'll send another note.
Please. So we have Flying Trees in Lou Miller Park, and Pamela has been checking on it, and then also Susan Horowitz. Great. Okay. Free for All, Teresa has been checking on it. That's a bronze sculpture with a bunch of boys kind of tumbling.
Oh, I know that one.
I got that. I like to take walks. I think it's garden acres.
It's garden acres.
I don't think it is green acres.
It's garden acres. Green acres is what might save my brain, and then I start singing. It's not that, it's garden acres. And in fact, when you go next to that one, the tree, which when it was originally put in was this tall, and now it's, 30 feet tall. So I think that it'll be a part of the bronze treatment this fall, but it might be sappy. And then it's not very visible, and it might be one of those, sometime we need to remove.
When I first looked at it, I couldn't, I kept going, but it's right here, it's supposed to be at 18th and whatever it was, and I couldn't find it, and then I went, oh, it's covered, and it really, the tree was just
Can't see it.
like all over
It's
it.
so funny because the other side of that entryway
Yeah,
and up the hill is pretty clear.
I know. That might be something we
yeah.
should talk about.
I'm gonna take this because it's actually inside of a structure that's not very accessible,
If anybody has any classes at the Isaac Walton Clubhouse,
Which is going to stay open when the Army Corps is doing their work. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
you say it is or is it?
It is, but when I say open means there's a scheduled program and somebody comes and unlocks the door
Yeah.
and it's open, and then when the program's over, it's locked. So
So
That's kind of how it is now.
it's how it is,
Yeah, that's how it is now.
But they're not getting rid of it, so that's
Yeah, so I'll take it if no one else wants to do that, okay.
What is it?
It's the
The
carving of the
buffalo
buffalo head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's inside though.
I used to do my Jimmy drumming there, and it was in great shape. Good size. And they even dusted it and stuff, so that was really nice.
It's missing a sign.
It's what?
Missing a sign.
It is missing a line now?
Oh, there's no sign.
And then I have Nettie and Danielle on gazebo, which I think works out well for them. Anybody want to live near?
I'll take that one too.
We also have a resident keeping a really nice eye on it, so.
Yeah, she lives like, her house is like.
Yeah, she's like right there. And then Golden Days, which is the sculpture in Golden Ponds of the grandfather and the boy fishing, and I have Susan Horowitz on that.
Sure.
Still good? Okay.
There's supposed to be a fishing pole, there's never a fishing pole.
Oh.
Whenever you put a fishing pole back, somebody snaps it off.
Yes.
It just doesn't have a fishing pole.
Yes, doesn't have much fun.
It just doesn't.
And then Golden Hunt's Guardian, I have Pamela and Susan Morgan's also on that. So it's, yeah. Great Blue Herons, Iris is checking in on that, and she's not here, but she's gonna be signed up for the same things.
Anybody golf? Scott golfs?
I'm a golf course frequently. So.
Awesome, thanks, Scott.
Do you see those still
Yeah,
pretty
I do.
often? Yeah.
I haven't seen a ball over there, but.
That means you're a good golfer.
And then we have the Happy Tree mural that is near Hover and Ken Pratt, and Sage has been checking on it, and
That's
it's
a little out of the way for me at this point.
You don't want to do it? Okay.
Yeah, like when I was going to school there, it was right there.
It was
but
easy.
now it's like completely across town.
That makes sense. Yeah, Susan Jenkins.
Thank you.
I just need to know where.
Yeah, no, so it's
It's in the Oscar Blues parking lot,
ish.
at the sort of far north end. It goes around a underpass that goes under.
Oh, yeah.
So all of the new commissioners, when we get done with this, we will send you your list and we will send you locations and images, so you know what you're looking for.
I was saying, I don't know on the new website, but our current website has pictures of most of them, which is helpful.
Yes. Okay, and then so Heart to Hand, which is senior center, Cindy signed up for it, everybody
I
else?
still have on, I do outreach at the senior center.
Sweet.
And that bed is going to be revamped by Parks, and we've already talked about it, so.
The flower bed around it.
So hopefully we don't have to move it. They're gonna work around it.
It's not that big. I mean, the flower bed is not that big.
They're gonna make it better. And it's gonna be annuals. Maybe roses.
Because the giant rose garden is just, 100 feet away.
I'm not joking, but it's gonna be lovely and blooming.
Okay.
Merciless.
I think Eve is probably good on that.
Yes, Eve, you're good with the sandblasted glass piece that's still here, right?
Yeah, as good as it can be, because you can't really see, because there's so much light.
Yeah. Okay. And then Journey, which is also senior center. Do you want to take on the?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the birds and flick right in front.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen those.
Yes, you have to go do you know where it is?
No.
Okay, when you're standing outside the portico that goes to the front door,
Yep.
if you look to your right, there's like you can see the birds, and there's sort of a little 4-foot walk that goes up to it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's
It's inevitably, someone talks to me every time I'm in front of the senior center, and then it's hard to pay attention to.
Sure.
All right, and then I have Kestrel's Way, which is in Rogers Grove. Sage, are you still okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. We have Daniel's on that. Keyhole in Boston, which is the mural on the spoke. Danielle's been checking on that.
The big thing is making sure that you have that app downloaded and making sure that the feet are still there. That's the big stuff.
And then landmarks in Stephen Day Park. Melanie, you still good with that one?
Yeah.
All right. Left hand's compass, quail, Eve is still good. Legacy at the Boulder County Courthouse, Teresa is still good. Listing Stone, Sage, you're still good. Locus Amonis is in the back.
I'll sign up for that.
Yes.
Thank you, sorry. Susan got me right away.
I love that. It's like one of my favorites.
It's the best.
It's the best.
And it's, talk about maintenance free, it was always
Right.
the same. I looked at it for several years and it was the same.
It was in the bathroom. Last time, maybe. And 2 people were talking about it. Look at that on the ceiling. I'm like, how could you miss it? Yeah.
And then we have the Longmont mural. Melody, you still good with that one? No?
That one I would switch out since it's kind of one of our
Kanemoto. Scott.
I ride my bike by that on the street.
Great.
Great.
It has water damage that is what it is, but I'll send you some pictures.
There's a little bit of graffiti too.
You think it's graffiti, but it might just be the signatures of all the people that worked on it. Because when I first saw it, I thought it was graffiti, and then one artist I looked at, I said, you know what? I think that's the signatures of kids that worked on it, because it was a group effort.
Oh, that works, because it is a graffiti-esque.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The next one's the actual one at the library, so I added your name, Michelle.
Yes,
That
that's the train.
archway. Yes. And then Jennifer's also on that.
Yes, I love it.
Okay.
And it was repainted not that long ago, so if it's damaged, you'll know real quick.
And then Post Arcos needs somebody to look at. Alright, perfect. There's 6 of them, so they're in all the Tuesdays.
They
But,
have invasive vines growing on them that need to be gone.
Oh.
The trumpet vines that are going up the sides are going to be a problem. They will ruin the armor.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yes. They will ruin it.
They're
Oh,
trying
that's
vines and not bindweed.
The trumpet vines.
For sure.
Yes. There you go.
Well, I have to go down there anyway because of our new tag, so I'll look at
And then I have Manilda Giraffe. In Roosevelt. Cindy's on it, and then Nettie's on it. We have
It's a
the
giraffe.
mural at 20th and Hover. Teresa's on it. You still with that? Okay. And then I need somebody. Well, do we need Nature's Way? I guess we still need somebody to check out Nature's Way. So the piece that's getting maintenance done on it, does
I
anybody?
was gonna volunteer for different.
Great, yeah, no, that's great, no, that's awesome.
So, yeah, I can.
Go look at it.
Yeah.
You'll get the education.
Eve is still checking on New Dancing Moon. Put me on that one. Which I think we're still writing on.
We recently had work on that one too.
Yes.
So it should be great.
New Who, Teresa and Danielle still good. On the Go, which is at the Humane Center. Pamela, are you still good?
Yeah.
Okay. Pedal Power, which is Roosevelt, you still good?
I got it.
Cindy?
that. Just got repowder code.
Yeah. Danielle's looking at Picnic in London Park, which is the big ants.
I can do second on that.
Yeah.
It's in real bad shape, I mean,
It's paint.
badly.
Play by Play, which is Kitely, the mural we just completed. I have Teresa on it.
That one we really need to go look at.
We should.
We resealed it last summer and we did a complete repaint.
I was there last Sunday.
Yep. How does it look?
It looks good.
Really?
That's awesome.
The artist actually pulled me aside and asked me, I was like,
I saw that Sunday, but I didn't.
awesome, no, that's fine.
The
No.
basketball.
And really-
was really good.
And really on the reports, y'all, if it's poor, like, just be like, oh my gosh, Angela, and just send me an email right away. When it's good, like, okay.
I should have talked about it.
If you can write a report, that's fine,
But
Oh,
the
that's
figures on the sidewalk are wearing out.
but yeah, that's not surprising. We didn't seal those the same way because we didn't wanna
Okay,
pony up for the material if it didn't work.
but those are my favorite.
Well, we'll fix them now that we know that our process works.
Yeah.
Good to know, that's great.
Points of View, I have Sage and Iris on. You still good with that? Okay.
I think
Greer?
the only thing with
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
is there's like a limit to how many files you can put in on the maintenance report.
Yes.
Last time I did, I couldn't get all 7 of them on there. So I just tried to get the ones that looked the worst.
Yeah, that's
perfect.
I did a separate maintenance report for each.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Carpal tunnel, I'm not doing that.
Love it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
For Manilda Giraffe, next time I will only do one for all of them.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You do as much as you want to do, please. I have Iris on Prairie Underground, Melanie at Rejuvenation. Do you go to the Dickens pretty often? Okay.
Yeah. I started going there actually for this exhibition.
Oh, nice. Okay. Roosevelt on the corner of Kaufman and Longmont.
Which will likely have to come out with the Kaufman Street project, just FYI.
Oh,
We'll likely have to have a conversation about that at some point.
Okay.
So just so you know.
I lost track of where we are.
Roosevelt
Yeah,
Conservationist.
I'm doing that, but
That's great.
we don't have to move it. He's fine.
When they do, when the Kaufman project actually is underway, yes. I know, it's gonna, We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it
We'll
now.
have to
We'll
figure
figure it
that
out.
out.
It is gonna have to move.
We have to move. Okay, well, just keep an eye on Roosevelt, because he often he's decorated.
Yes.
He gets stickers and all kinds of stuff.
Well,
And in winter, he gets scarves.
Well, and on Indigenous Peoples' Day, which used to be Columbus Day, I'll probably go and grab a cup of coffee nice and early in the morning and sit there. Because he tends to get visited, which is weird.
Yeah, it
Like,
doesn't make sense though.
learn history, people.
Laura, I can
Whatever.
second the goose.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna put you first. Awesome. But we go to Civic Center pretty often, so I go check on that weird thing. Spirit of Longmont, I intro. Spider at Car Park, I have Teresa and Iris on.
Which it was recently powder coated, so
Yes.
it should be good there.
Spirit of Longmont, I do need somebody to check on it. It's the 119 diagonal, those like the orb with the leaves. Scott?
Yeah, like how did you get, is there a safe way
You just visual,
You
like
don't go
just
across that.
yeah.
No, but you can park on the, where do I
There's
park?
an in between, yeah.
I park on the northeast side and just wear boots and watch out for snakes.
But you can, you can get closer. Yeah, I was gonna say, you might just be safe.
Yes.
If there's something real bad, you'll probably be able to see it from afar.
Well, if any of them are falling out.
Yeah.
Let's bring you a snake.
I have Cindy on the Statue of Liberty.
Good with that?
Thank you. Sunset, I have Pamela and Iris on, which is the hawk of the sandstone.
Right, yes.
Danielle's checking on Take Me Out to the Game, which is also Sandstone Ranch.
And that's
We-
a
that-
that's a bad shape.
It's like not great, yeah.
Kids threw baseball at it, literally.
Oh my gosh.
Do we have any idea how much that would cost?
No, but Tony Ortega's alive, so that might be when we sit down and prioritize maintenance for next year.
That's a good idea.
Lady and the Damsel, I have Jennifer and Melanie on.
Yes,
That's really good. I need somebody to check on Thompson Tempietto. They are redoing that park.
I think Thompson's done.
It
Does anybody
is.
live over there? I think it's done.
Yeah, Susan. Thank you.
I can second that one, I just saw some.
Alright. And then Jennifer's checking on the new mural on 9th and Alpine. Anybody else want to go over there? No?
Yeah, I was very consistent.
Uptown, which is actually now
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, just put me on that. It's half that.
that's on 4th Street,
yeah.
4th and Coffin, basically.
I don't know, sometimes I was tagged.
I was just down there the other day, that looks fabulous.
Yeah,
There, it looks really good there.
I like it there a lot. I think that's
Yeah.
one of the best locations.
And then I have Teresa on Walk of Life, which one is also going away.
That's
at some
correct.
point.
So the Kaufman Street one will obviously be.
Unbelievably, they've held up so well.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they're on the street.
Some of
They-
our sites
Thermoplast.
caved over, and so, but you can still see them.
It's really surprising.
Thermoplast costs a fortune and it holds up.
It's worth
It's
it.
20 years old and it holds up.
Walking Dawn, which is the triangular bike racks in front of the
That's the
center.
one, it's right outside the library, it's black, doesn't look,
They have like
It's
triangle
like
bike. They don't even
it looks like mountains.
So let's go to the library, you know, like I don't wanna be like a crazy person.
Yeah, it's, I don't know why it's called Walking Dawn.
I think in the collection file it has many names.
It does actually. Yeah.
That black bike rack it's called.
I have Watch Your Bike from Melanie. Do you still go there?
This one's super close to my house.
Okay,
I'm down to swap it out if anybody wants to check on it, but it does bring me joy, so.
Yeah.
There's been a bike walk that's been on there
Yeah,
for a
that was-
while.
Oh, really?
I've had some warrants.
So I think it's a Lauren thing. So my predecessor is an avid biker. I don't think that she just recently retired and I don't know that she's still in town. That said, back in her era, they used to actually hook bikes up to bike racks that don't actually look like bike racks to help people understand that they are.
Oh, so it's like indicating.
It's an indicator.
I see, okay.
But once we get to the QR code and we have the whole collection taken care of, then some of those things can go away.
And then I have Iris on Waterline, Tuesday, and then I need somebody to go check on Wings of Change, which is near the airport. It's a really cool bird that
I really hate to say this, but I can do that because the dog park is right there.
Oh, okay,
that's
alright.
good.
I can do Wings of Change in
Yeah.
New York City because I love it. I love watching the planes.
Yeah, that's fun, yeah.
But will you maybe take me off as a third on the bike to your roots?
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to be like also the other having gaps. I don't want to be the third.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. It's no problem.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Wheels and Wheels, Eve's checking on, which is outside the rec center, and then Cindy checks on Roy's World, which is at the senior center. All right. So I'm not gonna do it this week because I'm going on vacation tomorrow. But after I am back, I will send you all your updates.
What about the paintings and photographs of Sansa?
In the Coffin House, I would say that we rely on our art friends. I mean, it's a silver gelatin print. Who knows what the glass, and it's not in direct sunlight. The other one's a gouache.
And they're very carefully placed out in direct sunlight.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we just have
zero
to
places
call
the
us and
city
say,
could
okay.
put it that would be safer. These are some of the gelatin prints.
Along the river, road is, I think it's way.
Oh, because it's alphabetical. Number 50.
So with that and all of your shop art boxes, that's your over 150 collection pieces.
Wow.
Awesome. Very impressive.
Okay.
Fun times.
So.
Yep.
Moving on. Is anybody have any questions?
Now, right?
All right. New business.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, is it under new business?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, good. Yeah, new business. Okay. That's me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my colleagues and I have been working very, very hard on coming up with the what for Art Walk. So just as a refresher, come September, it tends to be like lots of cultural and art events. And so we're starting with the Sunset Soiree, which is on Saturday the 7th. And I know that I've called a couple of you, and if you are going to get a phone call from me one way or the other, please come. If you can support the museum, this capital campaign is going to do just so much for our community in the ways that council is prioritized for early childhood development, lifelong learning for folks, and it's just, our museum is so ambitious and it's going to give us what we need to move this forward. And this Sunset Soiree is what we're hoping is actually going to put us over and actually, so we can break ground. So you are going to receive a phone call from me, but if you can, tickets are on sale until the 31st of this month. So you have like 2 weeks. And I'm happy to show you or help you purchase tickets or whatever. And it's yummy meal. You get to choose your meal and open bar. And there will be a vitrine with lovely public art display that we are working on very hard right now. And I will take pictures and bring it to you if you do not come. But yes, and then music and all the fun things. And a sunset and all the things.
It's the first event that they're doing out in the courtyard too. So
Yes.
if you come, you will be the first to experience our brand new awesome courtyard.
Question about that.
Yes.
Do they need sponsors?
I'm sure yes.
Okay, I had an offer, so I.
Fantastic. May I have Megan Peters call you?
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Also, we can have a group and all sit together. So if you're gonna go, please let Angela know so we can all sit, because that makes it extra fun.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
Yeah, I have someone to sit with them.
Okay,
Awesome.
well, come and sit with me. Because I'm going.
Yeah, and I won't have a chair, but I'll be there. But
She'll be working.
Yeah. So then the next thing, so that's Saturday number 1. Saturday number 2, the 14th of September, is Art Walk, which is, I would say, arguably our largest outreach event for the museum and our public places, because it really is our constituency and it's the folks that we connect with in our community the most. And so we have been challenged and also have been working with the creative district on coming up with, we often do a craft. Usually it's a take-home thing, but there sometimes are community created pieces, and sometimes it's well done and sometimes it's not. So the exhibitions curator, the education curator, and I have been working on what is a community created objects or thing that everyone can feel a piece and a part of, that will translate to social media really well and has a possibility of not looking like throwing spaghetti against a wall equals art at the end of it. That is something like cohesive and intentional and purposeful. So we are doing the color by numbers, and this is Long's Peak, and this is our color by numbers, and we have 4 panels. All of them are 40 by 40. One of them I'm hoping is going to go to the youth center and is going to be facilitated by Susie. And each of them is going to have a different colorway. So imagine Warhol. Like Warhol does Marilyn Monroe in blue, yellow, red, and whatnot. We're doing Long's Peak, and this would be, I would call it the, the National Park poster color mid-mod. And so then we're playing with colorways. Each of them have 10 colors. And so this is number 1. And what we've done is we've turned it into this. And so today I spent an hour and a half. We projected it onto our canvas, and it's up in my office, and I should text it to myself, send it to myself. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. It could end up being a little blobby, and I think that's where staff might have to kind of go back in and like clean her up a little bit. But I think it's going to be fun. And so the youth center will have one. We'll have 3 different colorways potentially at the museum and the art walk booth, and then Rhythm on the River then is Saturday the 21st. So we'll have this entire week of art walk. Then we'll clean it up a little bit. If all 3 are done, we'll display them at art walk. If they're not done, we'll do some more painting at, or Rhythm on the River, rather. So that's the plan. We hope that they look good enough that we might want to be like, have them on display maybe somewhere. But if they don't, we'll take some pictures, put it online, take pictures of people participating, and repaint them white, and we'll do it again next year. We'll work on our process. The creative district and a lot of folks in that arena are like, wow, we really like your idea. How do you do it? And I did my very best in saying, wow, I don't know because I haven't done this before, but here's how we're going to do it. So I put together this is how we do it. Oh, there's a song right. This is how we do it. Keep my numbers.
Those squares, how big are they?
40 by 40. So they're fairly, yeah, they're good size. And there's 10 different colors, so, no, hold on. I cannot do 2 things at once. Wait for it. So luckily, here's the palette. Okay. And then, here's the palette, here's the palette in all of the RGB, and it tells me exactly what to buy. So, yeah, our team has worked really hard. We've messed with this photo, this image, like a lot in Illustrator to make it not look too blobby.
What are the other, you said there were 4 panels, which were going to each be different?
They're the same image, 4 different colorways. So ultimately there will be 40 colors. So each panel.
You don't have that image of the other.
No, we haven't still together. That's fine. But yeah, if you think of it, it's the Andy Warhol idea.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think it's very.
So anyway, so this is what we're going to be doing. And the reason that I tell you this is because we're going to be looking for volunteers, yay, to clean brushes and to be like, kid number 6, man, or like you're a little kid, you should be doing blue, or whatever. And then some people are really a little bit more into it, but slightly more detailed. Maybe they can play with tree zone or whatever. So I will be sending out a volunteer request and shifts and all of those kinds of things. It's all the things: set up, it's tear down, it gets dark, we have wagons, we have fun. Usually it's cold.
What time?
It could be real hot.
4 to 8. 4 to 8, yeah.
4 to 8.
Totally, like 3, and then probably not 9.
Yeah, I actually have an event that I've already signed up.
That's fine. Yep. And then Rhythm on Roosevelt, I'll confess, I'm not doing 3 Saturdays in a row. I will not. But the museum will, and museum partners will, and they'll need friends too. So if we're painting, we'll know it on the 14th, and then I'll let you know. We might just be displaying, and it would be volunteers being ambassadors for the program and letting people know what it is. It's gonna be fun. It's always fun, but it's usually rainy. But it's September in Colorado, you never know. It could be hot. So yeah, any questions about her? Well,
That sounds fun.
yeah, I think so too.
Do we know where we're gonna be in? I mean, I know it's.
No.
So you can visit me at the Callahan House. I'll have some of my art.
Oh, yay!
I'll be stationed there, so.
Fantastic. I'm so glad. So, Sean McCoy, our friend, his wife, and I can't remember her name, anyway, she's the chair, president. Who is it? Maureen?
It is?
Nice. So she's the president of the Callahan House Board. So, yeah, it's really exciting. They're going to have a display.
Yeah.
Great. Cool, Scott.
Yeah. Fun. I'm just showing my art. Just me. I'm the event,
Who are you? Will you juggle? Scott is a very talented artist. He's got some awesome art.
Fantastic. All right, that's all for new business. Yeah.
Any other new business? No?
Is there any report on, Clover Meadows?
Yep, we're under contract. The location has been determined, which it already had been. He received his check on, what's today? Thursday? Tuesday, he received his check.
Okay.
So that means that he just went out and spent a lot of dollars.
Right.
Which likely also means, I don't know this, that he is getting his stamped construction drawings, which then also means chances are, as soon as he has those stamped drawings, he'll be coming out.
Okay.
Oh, it's like structural engineering drawing for a sculpture.
It's a big stuff.
They all have to be.
Well, yeah, I require it because we have wind load and snow load, and I refuse, because of past experience, to allow someone to put in a sculpture without a blessed installation. Usually they over-engineer, yes they do. But then from a liability standpoint, if somebody gets hurt because of the installation, it's not on us. We did not used to require stamped drawings. There might be an instance where we might excuse it, but
Did you have like a conceptual plan?
yeah. I mean, it has to be fabricated to spec, but usually it's the installation piece of it, and the wind load is actually more important than snow.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay. Any other questions?
When are we gonna do some more vinyl wraps? I know weren't you saying we were gonna do 6 more this year?
Yeah, so August wasn't, or July wasn't very kind to me, so I was a little behind. I meant to call you, but
This summer's that.
Yeah.
There's just nothing good about it.
but yes, so I need to get that task force together to get working.
Okay.
I will.
No, I just wondered, I thought you said we were gonna do 6 more. So
Yes.
They're pretty cool.
Yes, we have budgeted and are planning, of course, for a spring and a fall every year.
Okay, yeah, great.
Good question though. Yes, I will get to.
Do you want to say anything about the executive committee? I guess
The executive committee is meeting in the fall.
Meeting next month.
Danielle has not responded as of yet. We were supposed to meet before now, but also July was not very kind to me, so I had to.
That's fine.
But that will be good because the executive committee will meet hopefully after the budget is approved this month, which Susie, did she say a date when they had their final? They're reviewing it right now, so chances are, I've never seen our budget change because we're working out of a special fund balance. We're not dealing with general fund dollars at all, so I don't see any reason we should be concerned about our budget. That said, it's not very responsible to think about making decisions for dollars that you don't actually know that you have to spend. But I don't think it's a problem.
All right, then. Any commissioner comments? Anybody got anything to say? All right, then I need a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Cindy, you can make a motion to adjourn. That's
I
fine.
move to adjourn. And 1 second. All in favor?
Uh-oh.
That doesn't happen every day, but that's all right.
Well, in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? None? And so we are adjourned at 7:23.
7:23, woo!